You know, one thing I love in agriculture, Brian, is people look at trends over 10 years, 20 years, 30 years of, hey, here's the best time to sell your grain. Historically, you know, this month has been good this many years out of 30. Okay, that could be totally different this year. It's hard to go by those trends. Like, for example, fertilizer. When's normally the best time of year to buy fertilizer? Well, if you look at the trends, it's typically late July, early August, but this year may be an exception.
Yep, and here's really what it comes back to. What's going to happen with commodity prices? If they continue to fall, there's absolutely no way fertilizer prices are going to stay where they are. They're coming down even more. And quite frankly, in my opinion, I think they're coming down more from where they're at today. We don't know. Nobody knows for sure. But I just know this. When you start looking at the economics, and we're going to talk about this a lot over the next few months, we got to look at the economics of agriculture. Yeah, it's fun to be out here trying to raise the best crops and putting everything we can into the crop, but we got to get a lot smarter when times get a little tougher and the commodity price comes down. So I would just ask you, do you know how to read a soil test? Are you getting good soil tests on your farm? Are you also using plant tissue analysis to kind of verify that what you're doing in the soil is actually getting into the plant? I mean, these are really important things, and we're going to talk about this a lot over the next few months because fertility for many farmers is the #1 expense. I mean, other than buying the ground or paying the cash rent, you're probably putting investing most of your input dollars into fertilizer. Well, how do we know if you've invested that money wisely? Maybe you can cut back most of your fertilizer cost. We don't know unless we look at a soil test that you've got. And again, we'd really like to see some plant tissue analysis too, just to see for sure if what we think is going on is actually going on in plants. So the big thing here is with fertilizer, there are many soils around the country that have ample fertilizer, but if you don't know it, then you're just probably going to put back what the crop removes.
Well, the other thing is we see so many farmers across the country, and I hope that you're not one of them, that just looks at, well, what did I put on last year? I'll put on the same thing again this year. And hey, my gross revenue is going to be down 20% from last year, so I'm just going to lower all my expenses by 20% and then I'll make the same amount of money. Hey, it's not going to work that way. You can't look at what last year's fertilizer program is necessarily. You need to be looking at your soils.
If you're looking for more information on this, Darren and I will be talking about it all throughout the fall on Ag PhD. We'll also discuss it quite a bit on Ag PhD Radio if you tune into that at 2 p.m. Central on Sirius XM Channel 80 every weekday. And we have a series of winter workshops, even soils clinics, we call them in the wintertime. And we've got a couple of apps that might help you, phone apps and apps for your iPad, the soil test app from Ag PhD, and also the fertilizer removal app from Ag PhD. This is just more information so you can learn a little bit more about soil test and actually apply it to your own fields.
Well, I think the big thing too with that soil testing is that you can do this yourself, and this is a spot where you can save some money. You can actually do grid sampling yourself with an app like our soil test app, and then send those samples in, get good analysis, and then make sure you're getting good recommendations from the lab, and our app's going to have recommendations for you as well. And again, just keep watching Ag PhD for more information on how to read a soil test, how to use this data to improve your profitability.
Well, once again, we don't know for sure when the best time to buy fertilizer is going to be this year. We might see a run up in the commodity markets this fall, and all of a sudden fertilizer prices actually go up from here. But if you're concerned that fertilizer prices may not be at the low, you could be right, especially if commodity prices go down even more from where they're at today.
Well, we talked a lot about different investments that you'd be making on your farm. One of the things that you always need to continue to invest in is good weed control. We'll show you how to stop this week's Weed of the Week coming up next.